Hello, FLR family. What is good with everyone today? Happy Friday to you. It's all about FLR Fi Summer. It's all about emissions. It's all about rewards. It's all about free 510 million FLR up for emission rewarding. Guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about emissions because I really think we're on the precipice of a major opportunity with these FLR missions. This program that FLR rolled out and allocated 510 million tokens towards stimulating liquidity, stimulating participation in certain DEXs and things of that nature, dApps. It's kind of huge. As I've been looking and playing around with my, my bags. It just, as I see these accumulation and accruing these rewards in many different places, I can't help but think of just how big these could be. There's a 12-month, obviously, time frame before they fully vest. But in the interim, you're still able to claim and then get airdrops. The more and more I think about it, I just think that's sick. That's crazy, right? For participating in liquidity pools, for participating and providing some level of liquidity and playing in these dApps, you're earning free FLR on top of the airdrops, on top of the delegations or staking rewards, on top of the FLR, on top of the lending it out to Sceptre, right? Or lending it out to Kinetic. And I just can't help thinking that the emissions are a hidden gem. It is always beneficial sometimes to be an early adopter, and it's just I don't know. Every time I go and I look at these things, I just think, man, someday when the value of FLR goes up quite a bit, what's the value of these free emission participation for emissions are going to be? So anyway, the tweet came out. Of course, I've been playing around thinking about it. So I thought we'd look into it a little bit more. First of all, where do the emissions come from? Where is this 510,000 come from? 510 million FLR DeFi emissions, right? Where does that come from? If you go to the tokenomics, the FLR tokenomics, you'll see where that comes from, right? The tokenomics show an incentive pool of 20 billion tokens. So this incentive pool is there for FLR to utilize to grow the network. And one of the first programs that spun out of that is the rFLR, reward FLR, restricted FLR, whatever you want to refer to it as, emissions program. And 510 million tokens of the 20 billion. This is also where Fassets will also be for minting Fassets, for bringing that crypto onto FLR. There's going to be FLR drops, just like the rFLR is for bringing liquidity in certain dApps. There's going to be an incentive pool allocation of this 20 billion for Fassets. So if you mint and bring them on, you're going to be getting a similar drip or some type of allocation. So that's where the 510 million come for emissions out of this incentive pool. There's, and again, you should have these, but there's a link here that talks a little bit about some of the different, how the program works. You can see there it says an initial 510 million of the 20 billion will be made available for selected DeFi protocols. You also see down here, it tells you how it works, which I've kind of explained that in previous video. And then what are the dApps participating? So you've got Sparkdex, Blazeswap, and Kinetic. So if you're participating in these specific pools within these protocols, you're earning rFLR rewards. Upcoming dApps, well, Enosis with its V3 style DEX will be upcoming. And then RainDex will also be participating in the emissions program as well. Again, I can't stress enough, I think, how huge this is to have an opportunity to be earning free FLR at this early stage of the game with such low adoption and such pending growth in this ecosystem, the opportunity to earn these rewards, I think is underrated. And so anyway, yesterday, Blazeswap popped out a tweet and said, "Hey, do you think you need to wait monthly to get your rFLR rewards?" And they said, not with Blazeswap. Go ahead and check the portal. So portal.flare.network. You pull up Blazeswap, and what do I have there? I've got some rFLR to claim. So I'm going to claim those jokers, right? Let me get into my wallet, and let me claim this. If I can do it. Yeah, should be able to do it. Because I want to claim those. And once I claim those, now I'm going to be in a position to start earning flare drops as a result of that. So you see now, if I go back to Blazeswap, it shows no funds to claim. My balance has increased. My available funds increased. So I can withdraw that if I want to. And then how much is locked has also increased, right? So you obviously do the math on here, you'll aggregate up to the 372.58. But right now, available funds, these are available funds that I can withdraw if I wanted to, that are not vested, if you will. And then I've got lock funds. But Blazeswap just dropped an emission reward yesterday for August participation. Sparkdex is nothing yet that's there. Kinetic, nothing yet there. So typically, these emissions are released on a monthly basis. But the allocations obviously are given to the protocols because Blazeswap has already dropped some August stuff on us, right? Which I think is pretty cool. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Let me get back here. So anyway, so I wanted to show you the emissions. And how Blazeswap had already dropped some. So you've got your balance, you've got your available funds, and then you've got your lock funds, right? So this is the 12-month, right? You got to have 12 months cleared before it will become available to withdraw. Now, you could certainly withdraw all of these locked funds, and there'll be a 50% discount. So I ain't doing that. So this is where I'm super bullish and encouraged with Flare, right? Because this is like in my mind, this is like a savings account. This is like a set it and forget it. And I get this stuff, right? I get this stuff for participating in these liquidity pools. And I got to tell you guys, I like Blazeswap. I must tell you, I was not very blown away by their DApp at first when I had to go in here and do a video and participate in the LP pool. If you go there now, you can see it says Flare rewards on USDC and USDT and S-Flare pools. So if you go to let's see, okay, here we go. So you can see I am in on the USDT rFLR. I'm in on the rFLR USDC.E pool. It looks like there's also another pool that is out there for S-Flare with these as well. But you can see I don't have a lot of money in these protocols. I have like $44 for USDT, $41 for USDCE. So $80, right? Maybe 100, maybe $180 max, something like that. I don't have a lot, right? But that small amount of money that I participated with, you can see I had over 205 rFLR rewards for participating at this low level. Like imagine if I had some real money. And you can see my pool percentage is 4% over here, 0.04% and 0.06%. So I don't have a lot in here, but the rewards were pretty healthy. They were pretty healthy. 200. I think I got 1,200 last month in July for my participation on Blazeswap. I'm liking Blazeswap. I'm actually liking Blazeswap. I might take some of my APS, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, nor recommending anything. I'm just documenting the journey and the fun that I'm having on Flare Networks. That said, I might take some of my APS rewards, inflation rewards that I'm earning over there on Enosis, and swap those out for some Flare tokens, S-Flare tokens, put some more in here and pack some more bags on my emissions rewards. But Blazeswap is bringing the juice. They're bringing the juice. They don't have listed APYs, but they're bringing the juice, no question. As far as the rFLR rewards are concerned, let me go to Sparkdex, Sparkdex.ai. Okay, here we go. So let's look at Sparkdex. Let's look at some of my pools on Sparkdex. Okay, I'm already in there, so I need that. Get out of there. Okay, cool. So I'm playing around with the Sparkdex pools, and let's go back first of all. Let's look at the actual farms that are out there. And so you want to know which of these farms are participating and being incentivized with rFLR rewards, of course. But once you identify which one of those are, then you want to get into it. So let's go. So here is the rFLR and the USDX, the 0.05% fee. You can see I've got about 80 bucks in here. So let's go back and let's look at the pool so we can see what kind of rewards I've earned so far on the $80 that I have in that particular liquidity pool. So FLR, USDX. So there's a 79 bucks. 65 cents. So I've earned 21 FLR and 33 cents in USDX, plus the rFLR rewards. Remember, Sparkdex, they don't have anything on here showing what they are, which Kinetic does, and I like that. And I really hope that Sparkdex will adopt that as well to show me what I'm accruing rFLR wise on their DApp. But Sparkdex, so I'm earning this for Sparkdex, normal liquidity rewards and fees. I'm also earning rFLR as well, which is pretty darn cool. So let's go and let's look at Kinetic. Let's look at Kinetic. Let's take a perusal at the Kinetic dashboard, and let's see what it looks like as well as it relates to my stuff. All right, so of course we got the dashboard. Tells you high level what you've got going on, how much you're supplying, what you're borrowing, what your staking APY is on the Joule token, what unclaimed rewards you have, how long the vote is, and the delegation. Okay, you can see what the APYs are across the different assets for supplying and borrowing. Right. So let's go to rewards, and let's look at rewards. So for the activity, the protocol rewards Joule token, I've got about 49 cents in USD that I've earned. I've got $1.22 in key token that I can claim these if I want to, and then turn around and stake them. rFLR, you see how Kinetic shows you the aggregated or accrued rFLR so far for participating in the certain pools. So rFLR, so already I've got about $1 or 68 rFLR that have accrued. I could go claim those if I wanted to. And then there's the staking rewards that are also being accrued as well. So up to about almost $64 of staking rewards for Joule. Don't sleep on Joule, guys. Don't sleep on Joule. That token has been on fire. It's been on fire. It's, man, I think I started with about 250 bucks in here, and that token is I don't know, maybe about 5 cents or so right now. 5 cents, yeah, 5 cents, 0.0578. But this is almost triple in value. The number of stakers of the Joule token are growing. It's a no-brainer. I mean, look at all the total value locked. Look at the money that's coming into Kinetic. It's crazy. Yeah, that's 8 mil. Almost 8 mil, and borrowed 1.8 mil. It's crazy, and it's only going to continue to grow as they continue to increase the caps. At some point in time, when I get some extra fiat, I plan to make a play to supply some of this fiat here, earn some of this APY, and then because it's a stable coin, I'm not worried about the fluctuation in the price and being liquidated. Probably borrow some of that and get maybe some FLR, right? Because again, when you're borrowing, you got to be concerned with typically the fluctuation in the price and am I going to be liquidated? But with a stable coin, borrowing off of a stable coin, that's not as much of a concern for me. So that's probably a strategy I'll probably look to deploy sometime in the future when I get some extra fiat, supply it, earn some APY on it, and then maybe go buy me an SFLR and then take that SFLR and supply it and earn some more rewards, earn some more rFLR, earn some more airdrops, right? Just and then use that to go pay back these loans and free up my supply collateral as well. I'll probably make a more aggressive move to do that when we can supply USDX. When we can supply USDX, I'm hoping we'll be able to supply the CUSDX, which is the staked and the 8% earning yield USDX. And so earn that 8% over on Clearpool, come over here and supply it and earn another 52% allocated across, of course, different payouts. And then maybe, take a loan and buy some SFLR. Straight degen stuff. Again, not recommending, not suggesting, just documenting my thoughts for you all to experience them in the real time. But look at the rFLR. So, so you're starting to see rFLR pop up more. And every time I see it, I just can't help but think, man, are we really sitting on a reward opportunity to jump into some of these rewards and really come out benefiting from really free FLR, especially if you are a person that does liquidity pool or farming, yield farming. If you're a person that does that, I mean, this is almost a no-brainer. I mean, in its most conservative form for me, it would be simply supplying some of these liquidity tokens to earn my rFLR rewards. I mean, like, there's no risk for me supplying anything. There's no risk. It's risk-free. There's no way I'm going to lose anything I'm supplying because I'm earning yield on them and I'm not borrowing against them right now. So there's no risk. So why would I not participate in that and earn this free rFLR emissions program opportunity that's out there? I mean, again, I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy when you think about the opportunity. I think it's crazy. I think we're going to look back. And we're going to say, man, I remember when those rFLR rewards were rolling out, and boy, all I had to do was put a little bit in participation, and boy, how much has it grown a stack? And that's just how it happens. Like, like imagine at some point in time what the value associated with these free 375 FLRs for just participating, what the value of that will be once it grows. And so for me, it's a matter of claiming when available, use those available funds, which will then accrue some airdrops, and let it just let it stake in there, let it stake and bake, right? And continue to circular passively rotate things. So when you think about it, it's kind of crazy, right? So we have FLR, we have the FLR drops. We have the staking or delegation rewards, which earn us more FLR drops. We can then now use that, and we can go to Sceptre and make it a liquid staking, which will automatically claim the drops and the rewards for us. We can then lend that out on Kinetic, right? We can lend out the SFLR on Kinetic and earn another, 1 or 2% yield on that. For participating in that, we're going to be earning some rFLR rewards for doing that with that same token, which we're still earning airdrops, which we're still earning delegation rewards or staking rewards. And now we've got this rFLR. What's coming soon will be Fassets. When Fassets comes, then we're still going to be in a position we're going to be able to use this same FLR and maybe other incentives that will come as a result as collateral for the Fassets. And then we can then provide even more support for the ecosystem. So crazy. So if you're not familiar with the FLR DeFi missions, I would encourage you to become more familiar, dig in. I think it's a piggy bank in the waiting for us. I just plan on, just continuing to just participate at a lower level, low risk level, as I've mentioned to most of you guys before in my videos. I typically don't play around in liquidity pools with my FLR. I took some free yield that I got off of my Gnosis staking, and participation that I get off of that inflation, and swap that over to kind of just play around and see. So I don't have a lot of money in here, but the money I've got is earning some good yield. It's earning me an opportunity to get some rFLR, and it's certainly been a beneficial opportunity for me to just play around. And I think that's what's key. I just think, you just got to get in there, play around. There's a FLR survey that's out there. If you haven't seen the survey, go do the survey. I'm going to get ready to do that as soon as we get done with this video. Have an opportunity to win 5,000 FLR tokens just for participating in the survey. 10 minutes maybe of your time, well worth it. But man, I wanted to just take a minute and talk about rFLR, about the DeFi, FLR emissions, FLR Fi summer. Guys, I think it's a great opportunity to stack and continue to stack the bags. I don't know how low the FLR token will go, and I don't profess to know when it's going to change or go anywhere. But I certainly know at some point in time it's going to go up. At some point in time it's going to go up. Stacking these free rFLR by participating in the ecosystem, which gives you further yield because of the airdrop components. We've got another 18 months of airdrops ahead of us. 18 months, a year and a half of free airdrops if you hold the FLR token. If you hold the WFLR token, or the SFLR token, you have an opportunity to continue to receive airdrops, continue to receive delegation and FTSO and or staking rewards. So, Mickey B. Fresh talked about, when he first started doing his videos, he talked about the passive income opportunity, the multiple streams of compounding opportunities that FLR provided. And that's the one thing that intrigued me about the FLR network ecosystem, was the passive income opportunity, the compounding of the token and the utility and the way the token is built. And so early adoption, I hope, pays off for you and for me. But I certainly don't plan on missing out on any opportunity. Part of the reason why I do these videos is because it forces me to do a little research and to play around and about some of these new protocols that are out there, see how they work, to make sure I understand how to really fully leverage them. And just like DeFi emissions and rFLR, I'm doing this video specifically on that because I think this is a unique opportunity, a massive opportunity to be early stacking the FLR token and participating in the ecosystem with that free yield. Like literally, you could take those FLR emission rewards, you can claim them, and then you can. And again, for those of you who just joined, this available fund, I can withdraw these. I can obviously take them out of the ecosystem or leave them in there and let them build up further FLR drop distributions. But I could withdraw them. I could take them over here and go to Sparkdex and swap these suckers for USD. If I wanted to, I can swap them for a USDCE or USDC or CUSDX, right? I could swap these things right now, put them into one of these pools. And that is something that I've done off of free yield, in essence, right? Because I've participated in some of these DEX or protocols, I get this yield. I can determine to either further compound that in the FLR only, or use that in some of the FLR protocols and earn some of this juicy DeFi emissions that FLR has available. 510 million, 12-month allocation. And then Fassets comes up. I'm pretty sure that incentive pool, remember this 20 billion incentive pool, pretty sure that's going to have some stuff that will be there to incentivize the participation in Fassets as far as minting, and maybe even the participation in collateralization to make sure that we're using our tokens to help collateralize that. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some rFLR emissions coming off of that. I'm pretty stoked about rFLR emissions. I'm pretty excited about the opportunity. I had to do a video to kind of share with you my excitement and enthusiasm. And I hope it relays to you as well, because I think if you're in the FLR ecosystem, if you're playing around, you should most definitely be playing around with an opportunity to benefit from the emissions program. But that is not financial advice. That is just what Steve does solely. So talk to a financial advisor, talk to a crypto advisor, talk to any advisor you want to, but don't take my advice. I'm just documenting my participation and the fun that I have with participating in crypto. And Flare just so happens to have so many opportunities from a utility perspective to play around, which is good for my ADD. It's nice that I can go play around with different things and claim things and move things around. I love that. I love that. So guys, let me know if you got questions, comments, wanted to share this. I think the DeFi emissions, the rFLR is huge. I think it's huge. And I wanted to make sure you at least knew how big I think it is, and that I'm fully locked and loaded and participating, and just really can't wait. I can't wait. I want to be an early adopter. I want to be participating. And when the price eventually goes up, all of these free emissionary rewards that I'm earning will only grow in value. And I don't know, maybe I can live on a beach for the rest of my life when that happens. So hey, we got to have goals. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your comments as always. Like, subscribe, share, and flare out. We'll see you guys. Take care.